Broken glass everywhere. If it ain't about money, man, I just don't care. Yes, we are reviewing Glass. Stick around, let's talk about it. So welcome back to the web's first must-see comic and nerd culture show. Welcome to Comic Universe, guys. I'm your host, as always, C-Dubs, and I'm riding solo on this video, guys. And I want to apologize for my terrible rapping in the beginning of the intro, if you will. It just randomly popped in my head, and I went with it. So what can I say? So, guys, I know it's a little late. I know it's been out a couple weeks now. We are reviewing M. Night Shyamalan's Glass, if you will. The third installment to his Unbreakable universe, if you will. The Unbreakable Universe. And I gotta say, right off the bat, I enjoyed the movie. It was fine. It was a thumbs up on my end. Did it live up to the hype? I doubt it. But let's get into it, guys. As always with our reviews, we're going to give you the good, we're going to give you the bad, and we're going to give you the badass. All right? So first off, let me get you with the good. The acting, of course. I mean, we all know everybody that's in it. You Bruce Willis's, your Samuel Jackson's. I mean, come on. Everybody in this movie, top notch, okay? We all know, and hopefully, guys, you've seen the first two films. At the very least, you've seen the most recent one with Split, okay, which kind of really is the movie that set it all off. But I gotta say, in this movie, the acting is top notch. Everybody does their job. I gotta say, the story, the plot is very... What's the word I'm looking for? Very predictable, if you will. Very... It's just not... And I get it. This movie is not in the MCU. This movie is not in the DCEU. This movie is not, meant to be this big spectacle of a movie. But we didn't need that, okay? Sticking with the good for now... on top of it, the thing that I think is my favorite that really kept me into the film was the little hooks, if you will, that dug into you and showed you things that happened in some of the other movies. Okay, mainly Unbreakable, actually. And it's like, oh, wait, so you were setting this up from the beginning? Or are you just that good that you managed to go back and take some Easter eggs and plant them in films without us noticing? Especially like Split. Until none of us knew it had anything to do with, the Unbreakable universe until we got to the very end. Okay, I'm going to give a little bit of a spoiler here. One of the things that right off the bat, the first comic book that Mr. Glass actually shows, Bruce Willis's character, the comic book page is actually the superhero, which is Bruce Willis, the strong, unbreakable powerhouse versus an animalistic monster, the Beast. And it's just like, my mind was just like, at that point. So there's all these little nuances that kind of sneak in there, hook your attention, you're just pulling your imagination along, and you're like, okay, M. Night, I like what you're doing here. Maybe I forgive you for Airbender. No, we don't, but maybe. And I gotta say that it was really, the heart of the movie. That's the best absolute part of the movie. Where the bad kicks in. Again, I don't want to spoil anything for anyone who hasn't seen it. This is definitely a spoiler review. At the very end of the movie, there's a twist or two, okay? One of the twists, and they're not big twists like he's known for. They're just two little twists. One is kind of impactful, but it's not really big. And like I said, it does fall in the same line of these little things that have been being set up since the beginning. So you're just like, okay, he did it. Okay, he did that. And this is why he did that. And that was fine. That was good. And I think he should have stopped there. Because at the end of the film, we find out, and this one is a little bit of a spoiler, we find out, and you may kind of already figure or guess, especially if you're into like X-Men comic books, there's always some sort of organization out there that doesn't like what is happening to humans, essentially. And yes, we find out that there is the Black Clover organization out there, and that made me just go, really? And it could have worked if maybe it was mentioned in the beginning of the film and not the last 30 seconds, last 10 minutes of the movie. And the problem is that we also didn't... It was a faceless organization, all with the exception of one character in the film. Okay? And we didn't even catch on until, like I said, the last second of the movie. You're just like, oh, so that person was a part of it all along. And it was just kind of odd. And another thing about the movie that I don't know how I feel about it. I don't want to say it's a bad part of the movie, but I just, since it's giving me this uneasy feeling, I guess we'll throw it in that same category. Each of the three characters has, I don't want to call them their Robin, okay, because they're not their Robin. You know, Bruce Willis's character does have the man in the chair, if you will. He has his Oracle, which is his son. I guess a little bit of a spoiler alert, but I think we all kind of can figure that out. You know, Mr. Glass, just like in the beginning, and he has his mama. His mama is his homegirl. She does for him. She cares for him. You know, she's there for him to help him with whatever it is that he needs, okay? And there's a surprise, I guess. If you've seen the trailers, maybe you can guess already what it is. But even the Beast kind of has his thing. There's his person, if you will. And at the end of the movie, those three people kind of seem to gel and become friends, and it just was really weird to me. And I can understand in some sort of an event that they all kind of go through. I know this is a really weird review because I'm trying to be so cryptic because I know how many people were super excited for this film, so I don't want to spoil too much. If you guys want me to do a spoiler review to where we can really talk about it, let me know in the comments below because I would love to actually talk to somebody who's seen the film, because I have yet to be able to talk to anybody. All my friends haven't seen it yet, considering how much it was on everyone's to-do list. It just hasn't happened. The guys here at Comic YOUniverse, all my other friends, no one has seen it, so I don't know. I don't know if they're just afraid of M. Night, but you know. But at the end of the day, I think it was a passing movie. It did good. It did not break the bank. I think Split was definitely better. McAvoy, these type of movies don't get Oscars, right? And I get it. I totally understand. And I'm not saying that this movie should get like Best Picture or anything like that. But what I will say is that he should get Best Actor. I can't fathom anyone in any other movie this year, last year, any year, topping the acting ability. This dude, just like in Split, he's going from one type of character to another type of a character, and it's seamless, and it's flawless, and it's so good that unless you're really paying attention, you may even miss the fact that the change happened, and you're talking or seeing a whole nother character. That's how good he is. And I'm not even going to say anything like his Charles Xavier. Some people love him, some people hate him. Me, I'm just kind of in the middle with him. But his role as the Beast, okay, as a part of the collective, if you will, all his different personalities, they are amazing. That is the badass part of this movie. I'm telling you guys, for that alone, please go see this movie because you're doing yourself a disservice to not see an actor hone his craft that well. And honest to God, man, I know it's so easy to sit on this chair and be like, oh, I could do that. Oh, yeah, that's not. He's just acting. Big deal. Man, we've all seen some bad acting. Okay, so we know how simple and easy it is to go from playing a 9-year-old to playing a woman, to playing a monster, a killer, okay, to playing a gay guy, okay, to playing, you know, the Kevin, to his actual personality, the one that all these personalities are trying to protect and look after, to where Kevin comes out and he's just wants help and wants it all to stop, and he wants to protect people and he doesn't want people to get hurt. I mean, boom, 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 and they all flow seamlessly. That really is the selling point to this movie. Now, at the end of this movie, it does set up, okay, for a possible continuation within the universe. Now, I will say this, I'm not going to spoil what happens, but there is somewhat of a spoiler if you really read into what I'm about to say. So if you don't want to know the exact ending, you may want to click away. Basically, if there's a continuation, we won't have a continuation with any of the main guys because their story wraps up. Okay, and that's all I'm going to say. Each person gets their closure, if you will. But they do pull a Heroes, if you will. If you've watched Heroes, if you know how the original show ended, okay, with Claire kind of letting the world know that these guys are out there. That's how that's what happens. So the whole world knows now that there are people with abilities out there. Now, I've seen Jeremy John's review of this movie, and he had a point, and I'm going to steal that point for a second. So, Jeremy, you know, I'm a huge fan, and this is just me paying homage. I'm not stealing your work, okay? But I am going to just say that he put a point that in today's day and age, there's so many found footage or things caught on film that are posted on YouTube, on Facebook, all over the place, all across social media. And the first comment is, it's fake, right? So, in that regard, it would have to be such an impactful event for it to really make history or make the news catch on and all that jazz. So, again, I don't know in this day and age how well the ending of this movie works. Okay? But, again, it does set up to where if we may want to continue within this universe. Or if maybe a comic book wants to continue within this universe, like IDW or Boom Studios, or somebody just wants to go out there and grab the licensing to continue the stories within this universe, there's a window there. Now, M. Night, basically, he's basically letting us know that he's kind of done with the franchise. He's really not into even sequels or third movies. It was only this one that his brain just kept going. So that's the only reason why he did them. Now, in terms of M. Night and his directing for this movie, he did a good job. M. Night never really, minus Airbender, I think, he's never really done a bad job in terms of directing. Now, his writing of the story and sometimes the twists can definitely ruin the movie, okay, but I would say this is more along the lines of some of his earlier work, okay, just before or just after Unbreakable, and it's nothing like The Village or some of his later works where it just kind of goes off the rails by the end. It stays in its lane, and it knows where its lane is, and in some ways it kind of played it safe, and maybe that's where the disappointment is to this, because the fight choreography could have been better, the impact of the actual two characters going at it could have been better, but again, this is in a day and age where we're so used to this big spectacle fight scenes and things like that if this was made in the same era as maybe Unbreakable, which was at the time, even though I'm not a fan of Unbreakable, I am a huge fan of Split, not a huge fan of Unbreakable. But it was ahead of its time. If it was made in that era, this movie probably would be a lot better and would be a lot better received by its fans and the community. But overall, I enjoyed it. If you've seen it, come on, guys, let's talk about it in the comments below. If you are going to spoil anything in the comments below, just put a spoiler alert and ahead of it, just in case anybody in the universe hasn't seen the movie and decides to want to venture into the comment section at their own risk, if you will. But yeah, let's talk about it, guys. Or, jump over to our social media on Facebook. I'm always there. If you guys want to talk, drop us a line, say hey, say hi, whatever, guys. And guys, until next time, I'm C-Dubs, and I'll see you in the universe. Peace.